Hey everybody, it's Chris Wilson. Welcome to the mini course edition of the Reinvention Formula. And in this video, we talk about reinventing how you think about your business. But before we get to that, I wanted to answer a couple questions someone had asked. One is, this being the mini version of the course, is there a full version of the course? And the answer is there's going to be a full version of this course. The next course I'm going to have coming out is called Marketing During Tough Times. You might have seen my book that just came out. There is a video companion course to that. Once that is finished, you're going to see the full version of the Reinvention Formula along with my ebook. So for now, this is the only version of the Reinvention Formula, the mini course version. Okay, so the first reinvention is when we reinvent how we think about our business. Now, I made this course for the entrepreneur running the business. The first person I made this course for was actually me. I've had the same company since 1990. I've developed a system and a formula and a way to do things, and it works and it's great, but it doesn't work anymore. So the first person who had to rethink everything was me. Now, if you're not an entrepreneur running your business, if you don't have employees, maybe you're just starting out, or you haven't been in business very long, some of the stuff I'm talking about might not make sense. But if you're the person who's been running your business for 10 years, for 20 years, for 30 years, for 40 years, you know what I'm talking about. We have to reinvent how we think about our business. So that's step one. In an earlier video, I talked about one of my staff members who's a really nice person. When we had our crisis meeting, her suggestion was, why don't we just close and come back in 5 minutes and we'll sort of regroup and take a pause and take a breath. And it was like, oh my God, like how is that even an option? Like when I went through every single scenario of reinventing the business, closing for 5 months or walking away from the business, it wasn't even remotely an option. Now, this person wasn't a bad human being. They just had nothing to lose. And as business owners, we have everything to lose. We could lose our business, we could lose our house, we could go bankrupt, we could lose our retirement account. Really, if you own a company, if you're a small business person, your entire financial future is often wired into this business entity that you built from the ground up. So we know we have to do something, so that's why you're here. So when we talk about the reinvention formula, it starts with you. You're the first thing that needs to be transformed. And I can't transform your business, you have to. So there's not going to be some secret where I'm going to unveil and say, send me $10,000 and I'll give you a formula. It's you working it out in your head, going through these steps and asking these questions and finding the answers and figuring it out. So first thing is you have to believe that this is a step forward. This is the next evolution of your business. This isn't like failure. It's difficult, but this is the next evolution of your business. You have to believe that this isn't your second choice. You're going to give people a better choice, and you have to believe that. And if you don't believe that, your staff isn't going to believe it, your clients are going to believe it, and it's just not going to work. So you have to actually want to do this. There's no shortcuts. It won't be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be probably one of the most challenging things you've ever done in your business. So the strategy behind this session is you're going to rethink your business, and we're going to uncover what opportunities exist in your marketplace that weren't there previously. Now, there were boundaries before, and there are new boundaries now. Some of those old boundaries were real boundaries, real limitations, and some were just things we made up. Think about something like a boundary that is self-created. Okay, so if I said this is a $500 shirt, you might say, well, I would never pay $500 for that shirt. I would never spend that much money. Or you might think nobody would spend that much money, or nobody would ever do that. And there's a difference between what you would do and what you would spend $500 on, and what your customer or your best customer or your ideal customer would spend $500 on. The reality is $500 isn't necessarily that much money for a shirt. Some people charge $2,000 for a shirt, and they sell a lot of them. And it might not be for everyone. It's about selling it to your ideal customer, who is your ideal market. So think about right now, all the schools are going online. Would you spend $50,000 to send your kid to Harvard online? And they're sitting in their bedroom. Would you spend $50,000 and they're going on Harvard on their computer? Some people are doing it. Some people are like, I'm not doing it. You can go to the local school. So when we think about our boundaries, real boundaries within our business, not these imaginary boundaries. We want to think about how our product is delivered, where our service is delivered, who we're serving, where our customers are located, and where our staff is located. Right? Those are the boundaries that actually exist. So there's some worksheets that I have that you can download and start working on them. So we are going to take a moment, switch over to my computer, and we're going to go through the worksheets. So I want you to spend some time on these worksheets. I want you to be thoughtful. And after you've gone through the worksheets, you'll be ready for the next section. All right, so we're going to switch over to the video. Okay, so we're going to get started on our first worksheet. This is boundaries and limitations. And these boundaries and limitations are real boundaries and limitations, and then boundaries and limitations that we just make up. So we're going to start with real boundaries and real limitations. So what are 3 boundaries that existed in your business that no longer exist? These can be related to how or where your service is delivered, who you serve, or where your customers are located, anything like that. Actual boundaries that you had to deal with before that no longer exist. And number 2, what is a boundary that you have created that doesn't really exist? So this could be something in your industry. This could be a limitation that we just imagine that people will never do. Nobody will do this. Nobody will pay that. But it's really just our own belief. There's no reality or proof attached to it. Okay, so here's my answers to the questions. So my 3 boundaries that no longer exist. Boundary 1, all my clients are from a 3-mile radius. That boundary has been removed. My clients can be anywhere. Boundary 2, you must come to my location to take classes. Well, all our dance classes are delivered online. So we had a student took a class in a Walmart parking lot. Her parents were out shopping, dad went into the store, and mom watched her daughter take the class in the Walmart parking lot. True story. Where your staff is located, my business is near Chicago, and it doesn't matter where my staff are located anymore. So I have a teacher who goes to Minnesota and teaches his classes from Minnesota. And sometimes he's in Chicago, but it doesn't matter where he's at. So what's a boundary that you have created that doesn't really exist? In my industry, the performing arts field, there was a belief that you can't learn to play an instrument over the internet, and that was just a made-up boundary. So take some time, work through this first worksheet, and really rethink how different your business can be.